Hey folks, helping. Great start. Welcome to what is quasi the first video of a new Let's Play series, quasi an intermediate video. I'm going to end up putting this in the list, but I'm getting ready to start a new series of Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening, and I'm going to do a quick reminder video for anyone who had submitted a character, or donated for a character but hadn't submitted yet. I'm going to run through that really quickly, and then what I'm going to do, which is why I'm putting this in the playlist when the series is actually going, is I'm going to go through the historic events for the Chosokabe, the forts we're playing as, because what I found in playing as the Uesugi is the historical events were fun, but getting them to trigger really kind of constricted your gameplay a bit. So we're just not going to do that. I'm going to show them off, and that'll give us the freedom to kind of follow history or depart from history whenever. And it didn't end up being a lot of work to get those events because I either got them all off screen during the Uesugi playthrough at different points, which is possible, or it might be that we just unlock all the historical events in the menu by winning the game once. I think it's that second one. I think it's unlikely every Chosokabe event triggered during the Uesugi playthrough, but the Uesugi playthrough certainly began before and ended after the last Chosokabe event, because the Chosokabe only have about a dozen events as a clan. So the first thing I want to do is go through the list of created officers as a kind of a way to let anyone know. So as I record this, there's about 2 days left to submit. I don't know that I'm going to start recording right after the deadline. The deadline was supposed to be Wednesday, the 13th. I might not start recording right away. You might have a little more time than that, because I was thinking of doing a little buffer series just to give me a small break from our Nobunaga's Ambition before I roll in, like just a very short break. But anyway, slight tweaks have been made to a few of these characters, but JG Mystery and Vulture Bobo and Vulture Bean are back, of course. Vulture Papa was created so that Mystery and Bobo could be brothers. He's not going to be an active character. Vulture Bronco and Vulture BB are going to show up. They're actually going to show up earlier this time because the scenario is set later. And when I started trying to change birth dates, I kept running into issues where Bobo and Bean were too young to be the parents of Bronco and BB. So they're just going to be older, but it won't really affect anything because almost everyone has 110-year lifespans. Mr. Schultz is the first character who was in our last series who won't be in this one. So if the guy who made Mr. Schultz sees this message, let me know if you donated and missed or whatever. I should say now, I have two names that I haven't either A, received a new character submission from you, or B, confirmed that you submitted a character last time and just brought your old character back in. There's a few folks like that. Bob Jackson, I think, was the guy who created... I'm blanking on the name. I think Bob Jackson created Rhyme Paradigm. I don't know. There's certain people who created a character and then didn't show up in this video, in the comments for the last video, so I'm just brought their old character over. But Aquazar7257 and Eccentric, waiting to hear from you guys. If I don't hear from you very soon, you're gonna miss out, because I did not see your names associated with an existing character and you haven't submitted new characters. So Mr. Schultz appears to be out. Ana Takatatsu has morphed into Kana Takatatsu, who's kind of similar but different. Lita's grandma is another person who I don't see a new submission from. Didn't see Lita's grandma, the creator Lita's grandma. Didn't see that Lita's grandma was resubmitted, so Lita's grandma would appear to be on the bench. Let me know if that's incorrect. Ald is back because he's just a participant every year. I don't think Ald created his character this time. He just told me make a character similar to what I've submitted before. So Ald is back. Minako Arisato, Kawanawari Sanada, Rhyme Paradigm, Anghamaran are all back. Froxus Nelock is not back. Froxus Nelock's creator in the comments said, I guess Frox is sitting out. And I told you, you can still donate. MS Society of Canada accepts donations all year. But for now, Froxus would appear to be sitting this one out. Tolpanzer is another one. Bit of a surprise. Tolpanzer pretty consistent. Tolpanzer seemed to miss the... I didn't notice the name Tolpanzer, which is the username Tolpanzer has used. Not a character name, just a username too. Tolpanzer doesn't seem to be back. Shaman, Uncle Baldo, of course, Sasara Toriyama, which is Lethal's character, Jaxor's Baldo and Zerfina are back, Grimmeth Reaper's back. Some of these characters I created myself. I've tweaked what you do slightly with my better understanding of the game. Kazuhiro Samadesu is back, and I got new characters. Takeshi Arashi, Earl King, a new character to this series. Earl King has showed up in previous Koei games. Vibrant Nova, the Bloody Handed is back. I want to tell it. Bloody Handed, I was amused by our correspondence in the comments section. I'm sure I will get around to talking about the horrible stories I wrote in middle school, and how you don't have to feel bad about the Bloody Handed and his edgelord name. And then I'm just going to call this Odasudi. I'm sure that's not how it's meant to be pronounced. But those are the new characters. So let's move on to the real purpose of this video. Although I will say again, if you are one of these 4 characters who is currently on the bench, let me know if your intention was to donate and you want to donate now and get back in the action. Also, if you are Aquazar7257 or Eccentric, jump in the comments of this video really quickly and let me know about the character you want to create. Because I didn't get anything from you and you're going to miss, which is not the end of the world. Donating to charity is a good thing. If you donate and then you don't get the character in the playthrough, you still donated to charity. That's still good. What I'm going to do now, though, is we're going to fill out the majority of this video by going through. I'm going to do my goofy thing where I read through the events. And we're just going to do all of them for the Chosokabe right now. If all you care about is gameplay, then just skip to the second video of this playlist, because it'll be the second video where we really start playing the game. Now, I'm just going to go through the Chosokabe events so that we are not kind of forced to do them, and can just play the game whatever we think is going to allow us to actually conquer the land. So these should be in sequence, so I just need to find Motochika Chosokabe's first march. This one we likely will actually unlock in game. We'd have to kind of go out of our way to not get it. You know what? No, I'm just going to sort them by name. Just going to sort them by name from jump. That'll just make it faster. So, Motochika Chosokabe's first march. This is obviously early in the career. The daimyo we are going to be playing as. The scenario that I've chosen to start, I think we're just going to replay the scenario we won as the Uesugi. Now with the Uesugi, we jumped in several scenarios and we kept jumping forward to get the events to reset so that we wouldn't break the event chain. But the position we finally won out of to get all the events necessary for the correct battle of Kasugayama, we started from the Battle of Okahazama scenario, which is where Nobunaga Oda wins his stunning victory over the guys whose names I'm blanking on now. The Imagawa. So we're going to start from that same scenario, which is when Motochika Chosokabe's father was still in charge of the Chosokabe, and this is him with his first big battle. Bungo, could you? And Motochika is portrayed in Samurai Warriors games as this like goofy kind of like. They've got him playing a samisen or whatever it's called, but they got him strumming it like a rock guitar and sliding around on his knees and creating sound wave explosions. And he's just this goofy, weird character. So maybe I'll try to make him like... I should have thought about this before I started recording. I guess he's going to sound like, in tribute to the late Ozzy Osbourne, I'm going to make him Ozzy Osbourne. Not that I do a great Ozzy Osbourne impression. Bungo, could you help me with something? Did Ozzy Osbourne play guitar? No, he was the singer, but still. Certainly, young master. What is it you need? The term Bungo referred to Yasukore Jinzenji, a shortening of his title as the Bungo Agent. He was also the one who trained Motochika Chosokabe in the military arts. I'm about to face my first battle, but I've never truly thrust a spear into a man before. Would you show me how? You cannot be serious, young master. Have I not shown you countless times already? Have I not killed many innocent peasants, teaching you how to murder someone? Yes, I've thoroughly trained with the spear, and I'm confident in wielding it. It is simply that I've never actually put one through a living man. Aim for the eyes. It is difficult to block, and even if you fail to deliver a mortal blow, it will be difficult for them to fight with damaged sight. Might I borrow you? I see. I will remember that. I have one more question, however. What now? Should we move? Should the leader lead his troops from the front, or should I ride in from behind? The leader is not a soldier. It is not his role to take the enemy's head, but that does not mean that he may flee. Thus, it is considered proper for the leader to ride ahead of his soldiers. It is from the front that he should give his commands.
You have my gratitude.
I say thanks for your answers. Ah, the others think him a fool. No doubt they ridicule him for his soft upbringing. But that is where they are wrong. His ability is unlike that of a normal person. Certainly he will become a great leader for Shikoku. At least I hope. Dots. So that's kind of our introduction to our daimyo. And things will be going along for him just fine. Until the sad moment where he has to take over. Because although he's perfectly capable of doing it, he has to take over because Papa dies. The father of Kunichika Chōsokabe, Kanetsugu, was betrayed by his former allies in the Motoyama clan, as well as other prominent families of Tosa. These circumstances had brought his clan to the brink of extinction. At the end of all the suffering, Kunichika managed to rebuild the Chosokabe clan and expand their influence. This also meant seeking revenge on their mortal enemy, the Motoyama clan. However, in a cruel twist of fate, Kunichika fell ill. Hence these people gathered around this lump.
Motochika, listen to me.
Yes.
My father, Kanetsugu, was a leader far more valiant than I.
This is like my Australian voice too, I realize.
But he was arrogant. It was this arrogant that turned his followers against him and brought about his downfall. That is why you must not lose the faith of others. It is easy for me to say this to you, but as a warning you should not take lightly.
Thoughts?
To lose the faith of those around you is to invite disorder. When it is gone, will you have the power to survive? Without it, is there any plan that would see you through to the other side?
Seems not even I am beyond blunder.
You must choose the road you will take. I once believed that you, my successor, were weak at heart, but I was mistaken. Motochika, Shikoku is yours if you will take it. I have every confidence that you will. Your talent far exceeds my own.
Loud and clear.
Yes, you can entrust everything to me.
Chikasada, Chikayasu.
Chicka wow wow.
Yes!
At once.
I'm listening.
I am sure that you already know what you need to do. I want you to support Motochika. He cannot gain success if you are to defy him.
I will take care
Of course!
I will handle this.
You can trust in us.
How vexing that I will not live to see the day Motoyama are destroyed. Motochika, pay me tribute by annihilating the Motoyama. As soon as you have finished mourning, you will suit yourself in armor.
Understood.
Father, you may go in peace. I should have
Like
watched some interviews with Ozzy Osbourne before recording this, so that was my plan.
I shall, although I leave you now, my spirit will watch over the Chosokabe.
Father. Father. Dots. Finally, Kunichika Chosokabe, the man who rebuilt the Chosokabe clan from the edge of destruction, and whose heroism earned him the name Tiger of the Fields, and the more insulting nickname the Lily of the Field, had passed. His dream of unifying the land of Tosa and creating the Chosokabe militia were passed on to his son and heir, Motochika. Now we go for the assault. This should be one of the easier, earlier ones because it starts with an A. Assault on Ichijo clan. So this is one of the first things that we do after taking over. And Nobunaga stares at us. Assault on Ichijo clan. Nicknamed Little Princess in his youth, Motochika Chosokabe later grew into such a mighty warrior that he became known instead as Little Demon. But he was always little. After destroying the Aki clan, the only remaining obstacle to expanding his power in Tosa was the Ichijo clan.
Will not waste this chance.
Now that the Aki have fallen, there is no better time to strike at the Ichijo. Do you not agree, brother? Motochika's younger brother, Chikasada Kira, was the scion of Tosa's prominent Kira clan, and a fearsome warrior in his own right.
Let us not be rash. The Ichijo once saved our clan from the brink of destruction. Saved it, rather. In support of my father's return to Oko Castle. We owe them a great debt. To repay it with treachery would invite divine retribution.
When the brother's grandfather, Kanetsugu Chosokabe, was eliminated by the Motoyama clan, Fusai Ichijo took their infant father, Kunichika, under his protection. Every man about the Chosokabe knows that. I'm asking whether it will stay your hand. I will hear no excuses, brother. If it is designed retribution you fear, I shall gladly suffer it in your stead. Well spoken, Chikasora. I see that we are of one mind. It is rare enough to hear my brother laugh, let alone with such glee.
Certainly.
2 generations have passed between the curd-head Kanesada and Fusai Ichijo, who saved our father. We owe the man nothing.
Time to prove our strength.
Today we march against the Ichijo. Chikasada, you will take command.
I will take care of
I'll not let you down. To tell the truth, I've made plans in anticipation of this day. Would you hear them? Could it be they always intended to attack the Ichijo? Yes. I believe we have just revealed this. Was he just waiting for me to propose it? Yes. Pretty sure that's what's happening here.
And so, in defiance of a decades-old debt, the Chosokabe clan resolved to topple the Ichijo clan and unite Tosa under their rule. Alright. And so there's a little bit of gap in narrative here where I don't quite understand what happened, but we take out the Ichijo, I guess. Because our next event, apparently he agreed to join us or submit to us or serve us. And it didn't quite work out the way any of us wanted. JK, because the next event, which happens after that, after we take out the Ichijo clan, is... Oh, come on. There we go. Kanesada Ichijo expelled. So apparently we take out the Ichijo at some point, and then this happens. The rift between Kanesada, the head of the Ichijo, and his retainers only grew following the Chosokabe clan's betrayal. At the request of his father-in-law, Soren Otomo, which, as we remember, was the guy who kept getting blamed for everything falling apart in the bad ends when we won as the Uesugi, Kanesada dispatched forces to Iyo, only to incur heavy losses in battle against the Mori. A senior officer Sosan Doi, objected to sending troops to other lands, while their own territory of Tosa remained insecure. When Kanesada executed Sosan for speaking out, the rest of his retainers rebelled, fracturing their relationship beyond all repair. At last, the Ichijo retainers took Kanesada's son, Tadamasa, captive and expelled the man himself from Tosa.
What in the world?
Wretched traitors! You would banish me from my own lands? Preposterous! You know nothing, you fools! That accursed Sosan was Motochika's spy! You would turn on me for punishing disloyalty? Wasn't Sosan proposing you keep troops in your home base because he thought the Chosokabe were going to attack? I thought that's what was happening. You have not heard the last of this. I swear I will retake what is mine. Cast out from Tosa, Kanesada crossed the sea to seek sanctuary with his wife's relatives in the Otomo clan and ended up in Bungo.
Truly, Kanesada Ichijo has been exiled. With his conduct, it was only a matter of time. Still find fortune for us.
His successor, Tadamasa, is a weak-spirited man who dances on the strings of his retainers. Crushing him will be no great ordeal.
No, there is a better way. We still owe the Ichijo a debt, if you recall. That's why it was probably not nice that we betrayed them. I will not have it said that we are utterly faithless. Now that we've already betrayed them once, let's act like we're men of virtue and honor.
The wedding of Motochika's daughter to Tadamasa Ichijo may still have happened if the Chosokabe had remained content to serve. But what should have been a union between loyal retainer and noble lord instead comprised a takeover of the groom's clan by that of the bride's. Oh man, it took over. They used the. Never mind. They used the lady bits to take over an entire clan. The face that launched this thousand ships, so to speak. And so Motochika took another great step towards the unification of Tosa without spilling a drop of blood. Yeah, so basically one of his rivals acted like a dipshit and got himself expelled, and I guess they married his weak-willed successor into their family and made him a toady. So, There you go. Now it's time for the Battle of Shimantogawa. This is going to be a long video, folks, but we'll get a lot of stuff. This will be a lot of stuff we won't have to do in the Let's Play itself. I might read them as they come up just for fun, but it'll really give us a lot of freedom in our playthrough. Expelled from Tosa, Kanesada Ichijo fled to Bungo, where he sought protection from Soren Otomo and converted to Christianity. Even as he took the Christian name Don Paolo, he still nursed ambitions of returning to his old domain.
How dare you?
He's now Don Paolo, of course. Although repay kindness with treachery, have you no shame, Motochika? You will live to regret your craven schemes.
Do not succumb to anger, Lord Kanesada. You must calm your heart and entrust yourself to the Lord. Only then will the way forward become clear.
With troops borrowed from his father-in-law, Soren Otomo, Kanesada, aka Don Paolo, set out from Bungo with the goal of retaking his home. Word that he was gathering men, and for what purpose, quickly spread throughout Tosa. Supporters of Kanesada's return began to arise, rocking the authority of the Chosokabe clan.
Has the man not learned his lesson? He is no longer welcome in these lands.
We must send soldiers to deal with him before any supporters can flock to his cause.
Do not stray.
This time I shall be the one to crush him, or if I am to rule Shikoku, I cannot falter.
There's my brother's ambitions. He's Nobunaga-like in his ambition. The Tosa Ichijo clan, as its name suggests, stretched back to the Ichijo clan of the 5 regent houses, the 5 most powerful samurai clans that settled in Tosa following the Onin War. On the other hand, the Chosokabe clan was counted among the 7 greats of Tosa. It would have fallen decades past, however, if not for the grace of the Ichijo. These 2 powerhouses fought for the future of Tosa on the banks of the Shimantogawa, one of Japan's major rivers. And when the storied legacy of the Ichijo clashed with the youthful ambition of the Chosokabe, the latter emerged the victor. See, I thought this might have been an actual controllable battle, but no. A curse, are you a faithless dog? So this cannot be.
Your age is over, old man. Never again will you set foot in these lands.
Defeated, Don Paolo fled once more to Bungo, this time to devote himself fully to the pious life of a Christian. With his heir, Tadamasa, bound to Motochika's service, the Ichijo clan effectively ceased to exist. And so, although Motochika Chosokabe had long declared himself ruler of Tosa, his victory at Shimantogawa cemented the truth of this claim. No mentions whatsoever of the Miyoshi, who are the clan who are going to just murder us as soon as we get this thing started, unless we're incredibly careful. Anyway, after that comes the event Motochika's wife, which is the only appearance that I can find for Motochika's wife as a character. I saw this one before I saw some of the others, and was hoping she would be around a bit. I don't think she is. But let's see Motochika's wife. Not Motochika's failure. That's coming later. Motochika's wife. Having united Tosa under his rule by destroying the Ichijo clan, Motochika Chosokabe next set his sights on Awa. Awa lay just across the Satochi Sea from Ki and Izumi, a position exposed to the capital and its surroundings. Hence, Nobunaga Oda, whose power in the area was rapidly growing, presented a problem.
I cannot abide by this.
Why must we kowtow to this upstart Nobunaga to take what is already within our grasp?
I have nothing to gain from this.
I would not go so far as to call him an upstart, but yes, as he is now, the man holds no power over us.
Oh, look at how nicely I'm dressed here. I beg his favor, only to warn him to stay out of my way.
I'll bite his head off like a chicken.
Mockery in your tone.
I should have known. He would do well to heed your advice.
It would indeed be a fool's errand to wage war across a strait. How do you intend to speak with him?
I thought of something.
My wife was a distant relative of the Yoda Vassal Mitsuhide Akichi. He will arrange our meeting.
And in one of the Samurai Warriors games, there is this weird connection between Mitsuhide and Motochika, which of course means that the weird pink-haired girl in Nobunaga's Ambition, who I have no idea who she is in real history, who hangs out with Motochika, she might be his wife, actually. But she and then Gracia are all like this force, which doesn't, I don't think has a lot of basis in real history, but And my brother is retainer to Lord Mitsuhide as well.
Whatever is going on.
Wait, surely it cannot be. Is this why you took me from Mino?
Huh. How many years has it been since we were wed? At the time, I had not even conquered Tosa. Would that I could see that so far into the future, I would be a sage indeed.
Of course, my lord. How foolish of me.
Well said.
Well said, you are a fool. After hearing rumors of the beauty of the priestess of Mino, who would not want her for their own?
But of course.
Oh, you.
Hey, does this car also come with you?
Oh, you.
My brother only gives compliments when he's trying to hide something.
It's terrifying to imagine just how wide he has spun his web. He does have a lot of milky white fluid squirting out of his spinnerets. Anyway, let's keep going now. The next event, Bat of a Birdless Island. This is a famous thing, apparently, that Nobunaga said of Motochika. Let's find out how this game thinks it went down. Oda Clan, Nobunaga Oda's castle. Mitsuhide Akechi was a distant relative of Motochika Chosokabe's wife, Suishin. He had been tasked with relaying Motochika's request for permission to dispatch forces in Awa to Nobunaga Oda. So he's relaying the request to Nobunaga that the forces are not being dispatched to Nobunaga.
Well,
Okay.
What word?
The Chosokabe of Tosa.
Very well.
Indeed, my lord. The very same family whose leader wed the daughter of Ishigai from Mino. And these Chosokabe come to me asking for permission to ransack Awa.
They got us.
Interesting. This Motochika is an intriguing fellow. Indeed, he is the type of man you see but a few of every generation.
Do not mince words with me, Jubei.
Give me your honest measure of the man. He is a bat, my lord, who thinks himself fearsome only because his home is devoid of birds.
Ha ha ha!
Is he now? A bat in a birdless forest? Or a birdless island, I suppose, seeing as he roosts in Tosa. Quite so, my lord. Still, I believe he has his uses.
I like what I
Oh? And what do you propose we do with him? Raise him into our own pet king of Shikoku?
I have an idea.
Precisely. It will save us the trouble of conquering the land ourselves. And do you believe you can tame this bat of Tosa?
Please leave this to me.
With suitable bait. He says that he wishes you to choose his son's name when the boy comes of age. What a fascinating man. What a
Very
weird guy.
I accept.
Very well. The Nobu of my name is his to use as he pleases. Not Naga, but Nobu? He would give the boy the character for trust? Do you take exception, Jubei? The son of the man who will rule Shikoku for me is second only to my own child.
I am both grateful and delighted.
Of course, my lord, you have my thanks. I'm grateful and delighted for some reason. Keep it. This gift is not for you. Now, go forth and tame the bat of Tosa. And so, having obtained the backing of Nobunaga Oda, Motochika Chosokabe struck out to conquer Shikoku in earnest. Meanwhile, his eldest son, Yasuburo, took the name Motochika, signifying that the boy was Nobunaga's own in all but blood. And with the consequent strengthening of ties between the Oda and the Chosokabe, Motochika and Nobunaga's diplomatic negotiations ended with a profitable outcome for both sides. Alright. With his blessing to attack Aya, which I think is not in Shikoku anymore, I guess that leaves us free to cover all of Shikoku, which is the next event. Right? Right. Located in the center of Shikoku, Hakuchi Castle held vital strategic importance. To the east was Awa, where the Miyoshi clan's main base of Shizui Castle stood, while Sanuki was situated to the north and Iyo to the west. After he felled this central castle, Motochika Chosokabe went to visit the nearby Unpenji Temple, the 66th sacred temple of Shikoku.
Harukakochi Castle is the port which connects Awa, Sanuki, and Iyo. From this location, we can send our soldiers anywhere.
But what do you intend to have your soldiers do?
How would a person of the temple proceed?
A person such as myself? I have never given it any thought.
In these times of war, it isn't rare to see a priest brave the battlefield. It wouldn't hurt to entertain the possibility.
Indeed. In that case, if it were up to me, I would gather my soldiers and return to Tosa.
And why is that?
People have their limits. The lid of a tea kettle will not cover a water pail. As such, the lid of Tosa cannot cover all of Shikoku. To reach beyond your means is to invite disaster. I believe it would be wise to send your soldiers back.
Oh, I see. But tell me what you think of this. If the lid of the tea kettle was cast by a master artisan, no matter how small it was, it would cover any pail.
Oh?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
In the hands of a priest, Tosa may not prove capable of covering Shikoku. But in the hands of a master artisan such as myself, it could cover even more than Shikoku. It could cover all of the world.
The world?
Yeah, this has long since ceased to be anything like an Ozzy Osbourne impression. Well, that would be quite the extraordinary lid made by quite the extraordinary artisan.
Such an artisan exists. Would you like to know his name?
I would. Please, do tell.
Maybe another time.
He's talking about, master craftsman, I don't know who he's talking about, never mind.
Besides, one day that name will be known throughout the world.
Oh, he's talking about Bob Uecker, the baseball legend. What an interesting man. I look forward to seeing what you will achieve, Lord Motochika, from over here, out of the path of the arrows that will be flying at you. Well, there you go. Their intention of conquering the island that they start on is finally out there for everyone to see. But they can only do this if they're able to do things the Chosokabe way. Oko Castle near Tozo.
Dos.
What does this concern?
Is something the matter, brother?
What's the reason for all this clutter?
Oh man, he's been looking around my apartment. I've been saying this for weeks. I was going to spend some time this weekend tidying up, but just once again blew it off.
I will handle this for you.
There's been little time to clean with all the fighting. I shall communicate that all things are to be put away when not in use.
An idea has come to mind.
No, that will accomplish nothing. Label everything with the name of its owner.
Its owner's name, you say?
That will ensure that no one mistakenly takes someone else's belongings. And if something is mislaid on the battlefield, its owner's incompetence will be known. In time, people will learn to treat their tools with the appropriate respect.
I will see it done at once. And then he doesn't bother because it's no idea. My brother always seems to take note of matters that slip me by. He considers his allies' strengths just as much as his enemies' weaknesses. No ordinary commander could get the better of him. Indeed, the practice of writing one's name on their possessions, now seen in every classroom in Japan, was first developed by the Chosokabe during the Sengoku era. Likely as a result of Motochika's meticulous and modern knack for command, the Chosokabe clan's star was on the rise in Shikoku. He's also the guy whose idea it was to publicly write everyone's scores up so that kids would be properly shamed if they didn't do well. Just to make sure everyone knows that Sailor Moon is an idiot and Sailor Mercury is a genius. That's why that technique was invented. Let's check it. It's like that show's come up a couple times recently in this series, hasn't it? Let's go check out the Shikoku expedition. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. AKA the Shikoku expedition. One and the same. We're almost done, guys. The continued struggle for leadership over the Oda clan following the Hinoji incident. Oh, because the Hinoji incident has happened at this point, folks. If you don't know about the Hinoji incident, Nobunaga be dead. And people are fighting to take over. Anyway, the struggle for leadership of the Oda clan following the Hinoji incident drove the regions surrounding the capital into an uproar. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Motochika Chosokabe fought to unify Shikoku. Eventually, Hideyoshi Hashiba took control of the capital, but Motochika sided with Ieyasu Tokugawa against him at the Battle of Komaki Nagahute. Even after making peace with Ieyasu, Hideyoshi was still wary of the Shikoku and demanded submission from the Chosokabe clan. He was wary of Shikoku, not of the Shikoku. The Shikoku... Shikoku is the place, the island. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know that much about this. I mean, I know that Chosokabe, that Motochika and Ieyasu agreed to work together to fight against Hideyoshi. And I know that Ieyasu was strong enough that Hideyoshi kind of forced him to accept he was willing to sort of accept terms to get the fighting to stop, and if the the Hashiba could save face. And there was a whole thing, but during the invasion of Korea, the Tokugawa didn't have to send troops, but it doesn't sound like Ieyasu really looked after Motochika when all that went down. So what did Hideyoshi do? He asked the Chosokabe to relinquish control over all territory in Shikoku to him in exchange for his recognition of Tosa as a country.
This is inexcusable.
Does he take us for fools? Shikoku was won by our own strength alone. Why should we just hand it to him?
Even brother cannot suppress his anger at this. The Chosokabe refused Hideyoshi's terms of surrender and hurried to bolster their army for the conflict that was sure to follow.
Absolutely not.
I didn't think you would surrender so easily, but to so brazenly defy me? You truly are a bat on a birdless island. Times have changed since the Sonoji incident. Don't think that you can pretend to be king of Shikoku forever. Hideyoshi promptly sent an army to conquer Shikoku, calling upon the Mori for support. Kanbei Kuroda was entrusted to lead the vanguard, and Hidenaga Hashiba was appointed as general, doing here his cool hand wave. Including the Mori clan's troops, an army said to exceed 100,000 men began its march into Shikoku.
I'll annihilate every
Hideyoshi, the great unifier of Japan. I could not dream of a better opponent. No matter how great your army, we will never let Shikoku be overrun by outsiders. Scarhole Kevin Nash are not welcome in this country.
Well, that's the thing. It's a pretty big deal. Motochika, once Hideyoshi had essentially established himself as the ruler of Japan, there was really two corners. Well, the Hojo were still kind of doing their own thing. But he had taken over the whole capital region and was pretty much on the great ruler of Japan. And there was only, other than the Hojo, which I mentioned, there was really two places that had just not surrendered at all. Shikoku Island, because it's a whole separate island, and Kyushu Island, because it's a whole separate island. And the Shikoku expedition was the event we just saw, and if you're wondering how things went, well, the next event is called Motochika's failure. Because he was very badly outnumbered. And, the reason in Samurai Warriors he's portrayed as this, crazy rebel is because he was, one of the last warlords to fight against Hideyoshi before Hideyoshi just ultimately took over everything. Even the forces of the Chosokabe clan, renowned for their strength, could not deny their inferiority to the sheer numbers boasted by Hideyoshi's invading army. Though the Chosokabe army fought well across Shikoku, being forced to engage at multiple fronts eventually exhausted them.
I wish to speak my mind.
I dare say it has become pointless to continue resisting. Our troops cannot withstand any further bloodshed.
Utterly outrageous.
So you say we should cower and surrender? My army has lost no major battle. I will not yield before things have been decided.
I beg you to reconsider. We should surrender while we still have our pride, before our people and soldiers collapse.
Be gone, you thankless buffoons.
Thankless buffoons, wow.
Enough. There is nothing more shameful for a warrior than to fall before even tasting battle. And the shame is what you seek, Tadasumi, and take a blade to your own stomach.
I simply cannot battle.
I will do no such thing. I shall continue to call for surrender until you accede. The heated exchange between lord and vassal was soon pacified by the retainers. Motochika remained adamant in his wish for a decisive battle against Hideyoshi's army. Even if they dared not say it aloud, all of his retainers knew that a head-on confrontation with such an enemy would certainly result in their annihilation. One by one, Motochika's retainers were convinced by Tadazumi Tani and began pressuring the clan leader to surrender.
This is most vexing.
This is maddening. Does the Chosokabe clan of Tosa have no true samurai left?
At last, Motochika gave in to his retainers and went to Hideyoshi to propose their surrender.
Well now, you hardly even put up a fight.
What an asshole.
So you finally chose to yield. Later than I'd have liked, though.
The Chosokabe clan was given dominion over Tosa, but were forced to concede the rest of Shikoku, the land they had carved out as proof of their might. However, that valorous display of their pride as conquerors of Shikoku may have been what allowed them to survive a direct challenge to the great unifier himself. That is the second to last, because from this point forward, for the Chosokabe, they are vassals of the Hashiba clan, the Toyotomi. And there's only one final event for them. Like in actual history, I don't know that much about what happened to the Chosokabe at the end, but they're not one of the clans that's around in the later... Like, you see the Shimazu and the Date around as clans, like subsidiary or subordinate clans to the Tokugawa. I think the Motochika just end up getting, like, just devolved, like, erased. Like, they don't... The Chosokabe, I mean... They don't... Motochika is he is the high point for them of power when he conquers all of Shikoku. And then puts up a heroic resistance against Hideyoshi when Hideyoshi moves to take Shikoku and Kyushu. But I don't think they go on to do much after that, and this is the final event for the Chosokabe clan. And this is another event that we obviously don't want to see in gameplay, because this represents their downfall and collapse. But at this point, they have become vassals of the Hashiba, rather the Toyotomi, who are moving now to destroy Kyushu, or to take over Kyushu. Hideyoshi's Kyushu campaign had begun. Among those mobilized for this endeavor were soldiers who had become Hideyoshi's vassals following his subjugation of Motochika Chosokabe in Shikoku. Ultimately, a great many battles were fought at Hetsugigawa River. Daimyo with territories in Shikoku made their way there to give aid to Tsuruga Castle, which was under siege by Ieihisa Shimazu.
We must seize this shot at
We
victory.
will cross the Hetsugigawa here. It is vital that we provide relief to those in the castle as soon as possible.
As commander of Hideyoshi's army, Hidehise Ganbei Sengoku fought alongside the Chosokabe unit,
May I have a moment?
also known as G unit.
Oh, the river's too treacherous to cross at the moment. We should wait for all our allies to arrive before we attempt to traverse it.
I cannot abide by this.
And what if the castle falls while we wait? As commander, I cannot abide by so feeble an approach.
I'll not stand for such terms.
Did Lord Hideyoshi not order us to avoid unnecessary hostilities? Would you make light of his commands?
Sengoku and Motochika were not on good terms. The division of Shikoku following its subjugation saw the former awarded governance of Sanuki, while the territory of the latter was reduced to Tosa. In the end, Sengoku won the argument, and the united armies of Shikoku decided to cross the Hetsugigawa.
So you've come, lapdogs of Hideyoshi. Bathe in the glory of Ieihisa Shimazu, for there shall be no such glory where you are going.
The soldiers have lost.
What? Damn it, be still everyone, that guy has dialogue.
Led by Ieihisa, the Shimazu army utterly annihilated the Sengoku's helpless troops, who were first to cross the river. Chosokabe's unit was soon to follow. Stop! Don't run! The enemy ranks are small. Stand your ground and fight! Oh, Nobuchika, that's his son, who took a character from Nobunaga's name, remember? Ooh, well, we didn't mean him for very long, did we? It is said that Motochika Chosokabe's eldest son, Nobuchika, fought with all his might, ultimately dying a heroic death.
You must be joking.
You ignored my orders and ran amok. Ganbei, I hereby strip you of your ranks and lands.
There is no excuse.
You have my deepest apologies.
To think that so pathetic a man caused Nobuchika's death. For his military misconduct, Sengoku Hidehisa was made to forfeit his title and domain. It was said that, having lost his son, Motochika Chosokabe attempted to kill himself. He was supposedly stopped by a retainer, however, and fled. I expected nothing less, Ieihisa. You crushed Hideyoshi's forces most admirably. At the Battle of Hetsugigawa, Iyehisa had shown the might of the Shimazu. Shortly afterward, however, illness claimed his life, making him the first of the 4 brothers to pass away. Although they had survived seized countless victories, a dark cloud slowly began to form over the Shimazu clan as well. The Shimazu clan, other than the Hojo, were the last standouts against Hideyoshi. Well, other than the Hojo and Ieyasu, who had sort of negotiated this quasi-vassalage state. But the Shimazu are defeated but surrender, and the Shimazu clan survives, whereas the Hojo are essentially wiped out. And the Chosokabe, the Shimazu, and the Hojo all kind of have this image in Japanese samurai culture as being like, it's like all of them get trumped later on by Yukimoto Sanada, but they've got this whole, like, an entire clan represents the Alamo, just like fighting resolutely against, impossible odds. But it's kind of sad. So that's the 12 events we have for the Chosokabe. It is the story of a clan that rises up. It takes over the entire island of Shikoku. It is the smallest of Japan's 4 main islands, but still, like, they're a little weak clan surrounded by more powerful neighbors. They rise up, they take over, but by that point, Hideyoshi has become so powerful. By the time they unify Shikoku, Hideyoshi, who is just convinced he needs to rule all of Japan, is too much for them to resist. And then, even in attempting to serve Hideyoshi, Motochika is mistreated. He loses his son. He kind of loses his way. It's a sad story, but Motochika still kind of represent like the stand that the Chosokabe make against the Toyotomi is still kind of like legendary for just going out there and not going out without a fight. And Motochika himself is known as for just being a commander who took a clan that was on the ropes and raised it to pretty dizzying heights, but during his own lifetime saw it all kind of collapse. And an interesting story. I think when we go through play through this series, when we play through this series, we're obviously going to try to do a little better than he did, and we'll have powerful fantasy officers like Zerfina Baldo and Earl King to help us. But something that didn't come up at all in the Chosokabe story events, which I think is going to be a dominating thing for us during our play, is that we're right next to the Miyoshi, who are the strongest clan in the game during big chunks of the story. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do about that. I have already thinking through at what point we throw in the towel and like how far in, before I call it a failed run and say you guys got your donations worth out of this. If we can't win this thing, I've pretty much won every Nobunaga's Ambition and RTK playthrough that I've put up on screen. Some of them took more loading and trying to fix errors than others. We might be in over our heads here. But the only way to see what happens is to tune in and watch. And I hope you will. See you guys next time for a normal length video.